Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and this is a short video. I don't want to go into too much detail on this, but I just want to give you a little primer on how to use the non-player bots for if you want to play Cuba Libre, either just adding a non-player into your multiplayer game that's not full, or if you want to play solo. One of the reasons I'm keeping this short is that I do feel that these little bots are about to be defunct. There is a card-based solo mode that we're all anxiously waiting for that I'll add a video to this series about when we get there. Also, while I do need a little bit of a break from making these, I want to work on some other stuff for the rest of this month. I do want to come back and show you the tutorials from the player guide for Cuba Libre, so you can actually watch some gameplay that is deliberately calculated to show off the game's mechanisms instead of just whatever randomly happens to me. So ideally, that is a project that I'm going to return to. But for now, I just want to make sure that you have some tips for how to handle these non-player bots. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. In your game box, you're going to have this awesome helper that describes non-player priorities and actions for each of the factions. So you theoretically could actually set the board up and just play 4 bots against each other if that was something that you wanted to do. Not that I've ever done that, of course not. But I just wanted to give you a tour of what they're able to do. So the thing about these bots is that they're not actually that difficult. However, you do have to have a good understanding of terms in the game and a good sense of board space in order to work these bots. And I think that's what makes them challenging. It's a little bit time consuming, especially when you're new at the game, because if you lose track of who has control of what or where all the bases are, especially if you're playing multiple factions, then it can get a little bit frustrating. But as you practice, it actually does get better. If you don't have any patience for these kinds of solo modes, that really never does get better, I'll be real. But I don't mind. So let's just look at the non-player government faction information, because it's the one that's kind of like on the front page. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to go through the flow chart. So don't even look over here when you're starting the turn. Just go with the flow, literally. So you're going to look. Are there government bases or cities that lack government control, troops, or police? If the answer is yes, then you're going to train. And then, depending on what you're able to do, you're going to transport. And you're going to get very specific information about how many resources you can spend, where you want to do it, and what happens depending on whether or not you have a base. And then if that doesn't work out, then it's going to walk you down step by step. So let's say the government doesn't have a base or a city that lacks government control, troops, or police. So we're all good on that front. So we're going to go down. Are there 26th of July or Directorio at an economic center? And are they underground or do they exceed the number of cubes? If the answer is yes, then we're going to garrison. So we're going to go protect our ECs. Our next priority is asking, would an assault add government control, or would it remove a base, or would it remove 3+ guerrillas? If it would, then we're going to assault. If it would not, then we're going to sweep, because we're preparing for an assault. And then, if you're following along, if you have the opportunity to do a special activity, then it tells you which special activity to do and how to do it. There's also information here about how to use government momentum cards when you have them. And there's information at the bottom that is about which events you're going to choose and how you're going to use those cards if it comes up for the government to do so. So basically, without twisting us all in circles and getting everybody super confused and agitated, the main thing that you need to know, and I do intend to put a play demo out of this in a little bit, I just need a bit of time, is that you are really truly following the spreadsheet. Follow it bullet by bullet, bit by bit, and everything will work out. It's just going to take longer than you like when you're first learning how to do it. And again, all of these are set up along these same lines. It asks first, what are the conditions of the board? Which of these is the first thing to be true? And then what do I do in response? The other thing that's kind of nice about these, though, is if you don't know what to do as a player, you can actually look at these and kind of think, okay, well, what would a bot do? And then what do I do? And how do I give it a little extra oomph? But everybody's got their own events that they should take if they can. And there are also little special instructions for things like, for example, when you agitate during a propaganda round, there is information about the non-player 26th of July would choose to do there. So my main advice about the bots is take your time, do not panic, and also especially do not panic because actually there's a solo mode that I think is going to be a lot better coming out imminently that I personally have on P500 pre-order and cannot wait to receive. One of the reasons I chose to start this series now is because I believe that the solos for coin games are only going to be getting better in the future, and that is going to open these games up for larger populations of people who like to play solo but do not like to deal with annoying flowcharts. So I'm just giving you a basic primer on this flowchart. I'm probably going to do a sample of play in the next couple months. I just need a break. But a lot of this is actually going to be rendered obsolete, I believe, by the bot deck. So please accept this short primer for now. Obviously, I'm going to be back with more Cuba Libre videos in the future because how could I not? I got to finish what I've started, and there's some exciting stuff ahead when that bot deck comes out. So for now, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and most of all, happy gaming.